Hey everyone, it's Tom June, back with a UK space news update, and I've got 3 questions that I need to ask. Will RFA fly from Saxavord in 2026? What the hell has happened to Orbex? And what the heck has my buddy Josh Keegan, the Aussie Knot, been up to now? Well, stick around, and let's find out.
All right, lift off and the clock has started.
It's hard to believe my journey on this channel began way back in 2022. Hey everyone, I'm Tom June and welcome to UK Space News, a brand new channel covering everything to do with the UK space industry. At a time when Virgin Orbit was still a thing and promised to usher in a new era for British spaceflight. And we all know what happened there. At times the road has been exciting, at times it's been hard, and at times, well, not much has happened at all. 2025 promised so much, and while our astronauts did us proud by completing their training with the European Space Agency, on the launch front, our excitement has been limited to Skyrora finally being granted a launch license. It was also a year tinged with sadness at the untimely passing of Saxavord co-founder Frank Strang, and quite understandably, things from the UK's premier launch facility have been a little quiet ever since. That is, until now. Yes, over a full month into 2026, and we now have the news we've all been waiting for. Rocket Factory Augsburg are back in action. This week we were treated to some fantastic new images and an update shared on Twitter/X to say that not only has work resumed at the launch site, but the umbilical tower at Launchpad Fredo is now up and ready to accept a brand new first stage of the RFA-1 ahead of their next test campaign. This test campaign will be a redo of the one from 2024, which saw the team work their way through various engine testing stages before it was sadly cut short thanks to a rapid, unscheduled, almighty bloody explosion. But dusting off the debris, RFA got back to work at their factories after mothballing the second and upper stages of the first full rocket assembly and built a further first stage, as well as signed 2 new contracts with the European Space Agency for satellite launches from the UK. Not only that, but the rocket integration hangar has been fully kitted out, ready for the team to complete work on the rocket from Shetland, and the on-site control room is now also up and running. Things now seem to be really picking up again, and while I'm much more careful these days to be wary of false dawns, it really does seem like 2026 might finally be the year that we see a rocket fly from these fair shores. All we can do is what we've done for the past few years and keep our fingers crossed and wish the teams at RFA and Saxavord all the luck in the world. Keeping in mind that the teams are small in comparison to the world's biggest players, we can only commend their efforts in keeping things going. So whether I'm at the launch site in person or covering the launch remotely, I am so ready to host the biggest party of the year. Now, onto a less than happy topic. To long-time viewers of this channel, you'll be well aware of my conflicting feelings when it comes to Orbex, one of only 2 rocket manufacturers based in Scotland. Selling the excitement of what Orbex have been trying to achieve over the years has been anything but easy. They're famously secretive, revealing only snippets of what they've been up to. They took over construction of Sutherland Spaceport, got to work on building what looked like it would be more a work of art than a place to launch rockets, and then abandoned it, pissing off just about everyone in the process. Not once in the years that I've been doing this have we seen anything more than a few still images of various rocket parts, as well as what's become a running gag of sorts for this channel, only ever having seen the same full-sized model of their planned rocket, Prime, and no indication whatsoever that the actual full-size rocket was anywhere close to being ready. In the same time frame, Skyrora have shown us all their similarly sized rocket, the Skyrora XL, and have actually launched something. And while this isn't a competition between the 2 companies, it very much is, because that's how the industry goes. But in the same time, they have shown us this super cool pedal fold design for their first stage that acts as an aero brake for use in the recovery and reuse of the Prime first stage. Pretty darn cool. And they'd expanded operations from Scotland to Denmark and London, secured pretty hefty contracts with the European Space Agency, and assured us that they were the UK rocket company that were going to become the go-to flyer of small to medium satellites in Europe. That is, until now. Because earlier this month, it was revealed that Orbex had started to lay off staff from their Danish facility, with it currently now in bankruptcy. According to a release at the time, only a small fraction of workers were set to be made redundant, though conflicting reports from the ground stated that the whole facility had been shut down, with the entire workforce sadly losing their jobs. Then, the next nail in what might prove to be Orbex's coffin hit. The announcement that the company are in active talks to sell everything off to the exploration company. They claimed that they needed more money to see their projects through to completion. This was after announcing plans to build an even bigger rocket than the Prime to secure future ESA contracts, despite warnings from just about everybody, myself included, that they were biting off more than they could chew. Space is bloody hard. Fact. It costs an enormous amount of money to get into space once, let alone to become true players in the game, and that's only having one rocket, let alone two. Yet, here we now are, facing the possibility that the dream, well, my dream, of Scotland having two rocket companies flying their rockets from the UK is going to go up in smoke. On the face of it, the exploration company seemed to want to use Orbex to help integrate launch and servicing all under one umbrella. They want to merge to become an even bigger entity than the sum of their parts, to truly rival other European space players. But what we're facing here is losing a Scottish/British, however you want to term it, rocket manufacturer. Not only that, but I question if the exploration company are actually after the rocket itself, or access to the manufacturing facilities. I would even question the security of the workforce, a whole bunch of amazingly talented folks that I so desperately want to see succeed in their quest to reach space with the Prime. Yeah, at times I've been hard on them, but damn it, that's because I want them to succeed, not to fail. I want Scottish rockets capable of flying to space from Scotland, and like any fan, I've tried to show gentle encouragement, tough love, and everything in between to will them on. Make no mistake, I do not want Orbex to disappear. I want this merger, this acquisition, whatever you want to call it, and whatever it turns out to be a good thing. As usual, everything is hidden behind the curtain at this point, so we'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. I really do want there to be good news, truly. And finally, moving all the way down under. I was recently a guest on the Aussienaut channel, something I absolutely love doing, and a big thanks to Josh Keegan for having me back to discuss his next project. What the heck has he been up to? Well, now that the cat is out of the bag, in case you haven't seen the episode yet, click the link below. Josh announced that he will be covering not one, but 3 Australian launches this year, and all in 1 week. That's right, Josh has partnered with the Sunburnt Space Company, Orbit to Orbit, Endeavour Aerospace, and Metacosmos to cover their respective journeys into space and back. This will all be happening from Space Centre Australia very, very soon. And the best bit for me?
Go. So once again, I've actually partnered again with Launch Heaven, who is going to be helping me restream this to the United States and beyond, and also my partner in crime, Tom June with UK Space News, and he's going to be doing a watch party or something like that to actually behind the scenes, so we can see exactly what's going on. So
I get to host the watch parties, but I'm not going to fill you in on all the details yet, so go and check out the announcement stream and stay tuned to both our channels for more updates as we get closer to this all happening. Go and check out Aussienaut, give him a subscribe to keep up to date with all the happenings from the space down under. Well, it's been a mixed bag to start the year here in the UK, but like the song goes, things can only get better, right? Well, as far as Saxavord is concerned and RFA, even Sky Aurora 2, I am so hopeful that this year is going to make up for the lost time of 2025. RFA look like they are ready to get back on the pad, get testing, and get launching before this year is out. And I couldn't be more happy to start covering this all over again. Sound off in the comments and let me know what you all think. I appreciate you stopping by and checking this video out. Hit the subscribe and notification bell so you don't miss the next one. But until then, thank you so much for watching. I've been Tom June, and I'll catch you next time.